Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy and this is Stacy Lee Beauty. And for those of you who are new, I put out videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are going to be comparing 3 concealers today. So I have the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer, Catrice 12-hour Camo High Coverage Concealer, and Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with e.l.f. And as I'm talking, I'm going to be inserting video of me applying these so you can see how they apply under the eye. So out of the 3, this is the cheapest at $5.99. I'll say it again, but this one's $5.99. Catrice is, no, sorry, e.l.f. is $5, Catrice is $5.99, and Clinique is $20.50. And those are all prices at Ulta. Okay, so let's start with e.l.f. They are cruelty-free, and this one, it does last, and a little goes a long, long way. The applicator is larger. It reminds me of the Tarte Shape Tape applicator, and the colors do seem lighter in person than they do online, so just keep that in mind if you are ordering on Ulta. This is fair beige, and it's much lighter in person than I thought that it looked on the screen, at least. So just as an FYI, they are lighter in person. So if there's an Ulta store by you, I would recommend going first and just swatching the colors if that's available to you. It is easy to apply, and I would say out of the 3, it is the driest formula. So let's see. There is a little bit of a scent, but it just kind of smells like a makeup scent. So here is what this formula looks like when it goes on. And I found that it was easiest to apply with a brush or with the beauty blender. I felt like with the fingers, it just dried too quickly in order to really blend it out. And since it is kind of a thicker formula and a drier formula, for me personally, I felt like it took a lot of work to blend out. As you should be seeing in the screenshot, it takes a little bit of work, so just know that. And I don't know if you put on the triangle, I think you'd be there for hours trying to blend it out. And I do think that this concealer, even though the shade for me is a little light, even if it was the correct shade, I think that if you're not wearing a foundation, that this one might be a little bit trickier to get to blend into your skin. I think that it really kind of seems like it needs a foundation to blend in with. So if that makes sense. But for $5, it did cover, it did last pretty long wearing. There was a little bit of, not really creasing, I would say, but just kind of looked more dry by the end of the day when I've worn it. But it does do the job. It's just, I would definitely recommend putting eye moisturizer on before you're applying it, because my skin is normal kind of combination to dry. So I don't know if you have oily skin if you need to, but if you have combination or normal skin, I would definitely apply eye moisturizer before applying that. So then let's go on to Catrice. So again, this is $5.99. It is cruelty-free, but this one did have the strongest scent. So if you're sensitive to that, yeah, it's like more of a perfumey scent than just a makeup scent, if that makes sense. And this color that I purchased was Fair Ivory. I did order this online, and I felt like the colors were pretty close to what I was seeing on my screen. So as you can see, that the e.l.f. you're going to get more coverage, I think, just on the doe foot alone. But as I think you can see, it's already drying out on there. And the Catrice, it did cover. I think that it was pretty long wearing. I don't know. I don't think I'd really say 12 hours. It seemed like the e.l.f. and the Clinique did last a little bit longer, but it did apply And I did like this one. Now where the e.l.f. I liked to apply it better with a brush or a sponge, I thought that the Catrice, I liked applying it with my fingers the best. And the last one is Clinique. And again, this is the most expensive at $20.50. And I found that this was the wettest of the concealers. And the color that I have is O2 Light. You'll see already that e.l.f. is pretty dry. It's not really wanting to blend out very well. And the Clinique was, I felt like for me, was the longest lasting. It's got the least amount of scent of the three. And I found that for me personally, I felt like this was the most natural looking. The Catrice was a close second. But I feel like with this one, if you weren't wearing foundation or if you were just wearing a light powder or a light foundation, like mineral foundation, that this would work well. You didn't really need anything to blend it in with. And the Catrice, you didn't either. The e.l.f. I would just be a little bit careful not to bring it too far down, because I did know brought it down a little bit, you could really see my pores. So if I had to rank them, here's again how they look on the formulas. If I had to rank them, Clinique was my favorite. And if they were cruelty-free, I would say that this would be kind of my holy grail concealer and that I would be repurchasing. But since they are not cruelty-free, I am not just using cruelty-free makeup on my channel as of right now. I'm trying to, the more things that I purchase, I'm trying to have those be cruelty-free, but I don't want to waste what I have, so I am using up products that I have. But so since they are not cruelty free, I won't be repurchasing, but I really liked this one, this formula the best. So I am on the hunt for a dupe for this that is cruelty free. Or if you happen to have a favorite concealer, please let me know down below, because I'd love to give it a try compared to this. So if I had to rank, Clinique formula I like the best, followed by the Catrice, and then the e.l.f. would be the last for me. The Catrice, I think just because of the scent, and it didn't last as long as the Clinique, but they are very close. The e.l.f. I just felt like for me personally was too drying, but it did work. And I don't have, luckily, knock on wood right now, a lot of blemishes, but I do get red around here and my chin, and it did work for that. Again, the e.l.f. did cover, but definitely put moisturizer on before you do it, and I think putting it on with the beauty blender to blend it out helped give it some moisture back into it. I used a wet beauty blender or a damp beauty blender, and I think it gave some moisture back into the skin. Again, how I'd rank them from driest would be e.l.f., Catrice, and then Clinique. For the long wearing, I would say Clinique was the most long wearing. Probably the e.l.f. and Catrice were kind of neck to neck as far as long wearing. I just felt like the Clinique, or the e.l.f., that you could kind of see it starting to break up. So there is that. e.l.f. and Catrice are both cruelty free. Clinique is not. So let me know your thoughts down below. The question of the day is, what is your favorite concealer? Because like I said, I'm still wanting to find that holy grail. Clinique, just don't sell in China. Become cruelty free and you would be the holy grail. Okay, there's my little rant for that. So I hope that this video was helpful, educational, and entertaining. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.